Hey everybody, this video is going to walk you through the steps of using the Google Hangouts Meet app so that you can video conference with your students and your colleagues. To get started, you'll want to be signed in to your district Google account, and then I'm going to click on the Google Apps launcher from the upper right corner, and I'm going to choose the Meet app first. And this is just one way that you can get a Google Hangout Meet started. I'm going to click to join or start a meeting, and you don't have to put anything in this. You can leave it blank, or you can type in a name or a nickname and click continue. Now the Meet app is going to use the built-in microphone and camera on your MacBook. Hello. And so I get notification at the top that those items are connected and ready to use. And so now I can just click on the Join Now button. And it's going to pop up a window with the meeting details for me to be able to share with others so they can join my meeting. Now, one method to be able to get this information out is to use this Copy Joining Info button. When I do that, it copies that information. And now I can paste that information maybe into my Google Classroom. So I'm going to go back to my Google Apps launcher and open up Classroom app. And I'll open up one of my classes, and maybe I just want to make an announcement right now. So out here on my stream, I'm going to just type, hey, I miss your faces. Join me in Google Hangouts Meet Sunday at, let's say 3:45. Click the link in the message below to join the meeting. And so now I can paste, and it's providing a link for the students to click on, which will then, if they're elementary or middle school students, it's going to launch the Meets app. Which unfortunately we did not know we were going to need before students left for spring break. So keep in mind that they are being invited to go stand outside of a school building to connect to district Wi-Fi, where they can open up the self-service app and download the Meet app from self-service to make this work. Our high school students with their MacBooks, they'll simply be able to click on this Meets link, and they're going to have the Google Apps launcher just like you do in your account. So they are set to be able to use this app. So they'll just simply click on that link and they'll be able to join the meeting. Something else to keep in mind is that right now this is set to all of my students to invite, but maybe you need to meet with one particular student or a group of students. So remember that you can use this drop down and you can uncheck all students and then select maybe the one or couple that you want to send the invitation to. Also keep in mind that you can make this an assignment. So I could click add, and then I could add a link to a website that I want for them to review, or a file that I want for them to take a look at before we meet. So I can provide some directions on that and then say, let's meet to talk about this at a designated time and day. So you can also attach things within Classroom for them to review ahead of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and click post now that I have that information in there, and jump back over here to my Meet tab. So that was copy joining info to be able to get that information into my Google Classroom. I also have this add people button. So I can, from this page, start to type in people's names and select them to send invitations to them. And this is going to send an email to them with the link to click on to be able to join the meeting. So this might be good for colleagues, but you could also use this with your students. And then you would click the send invite, and that's going to, again, send an email to them. Another way that I can set up a Google Hangouts Meet is through my Google Calendar. So I'm going to go to my Google Apps Launcher and select Calendar. And let's say that I'm going to do just a quick check-in at 3:45 with my people. So I'm going to click on my calendar and do check-in meeting as the title. And then I'm going to click this More Options button. And 3:30 is already passed, so I'll click to change that time to 3:45, and date's fine. And so now further down on the screen, I have this Add Conferencing button. I'm going to click to select that and choose Hangouts Meet. And so now it provides the link and all of that information for people to be able to join my meeting. I can also scroll down and add a description of the meeting if I want to, and then here I can also attach any files that maybe we need to discuss during this meeting. Over to the right, I can add my guests. So if I'm doing this for my students, I could start to type their names in to be able to invite them to my meeting. And then I can click the save button after I get everyone entered in who will be guests. Then it prompts me, do you want to send an email invitation to these people? And I would recommend doing that. In that way, they have something in their email with the details for the meeting, and it shows up on their Google Calendar with those details. So I would definitely recommend the send option. However, since this is a demonstration for this video, I'm going to click don't send just so those people don't get the message and wonder what I am up to. So now that shows up on their calendar, and they would simply be able to click on that meeting invitation and then select this Join Hangouts Meet link, and it's going to open that meet up in a tab. Hello. And notice the title over here is Check-in Meeting, so they would be able to click Join Now and be able to get started in the meeting. Okay, so I have taken my information for my meet and I've posted it in Google Classroom. And so then my students were able to click on that link in the announcement, and it launched the Meet app for them to be able to join in. Now you have some different options on this screen. If I hover over my students, I get a picture of a pin where I can pin their picture to the screen. I can also, if I hover over, I can mute my students as well. Let me go ahead and click on my three dots in the lower right corner and change my layout, and I can go back to that tiled view so I can see everyone again. So Jay here is not muted, so I can, when he joins, I can click on the picture of the microphone from his picture. And then same with Maddie, I can click on her microphone and click to mute her. And so now they need to unmute themselves if I'm going to ask them a question and invite them to join the conversation. In the upper right corner, I had clicked on the little bubble people here. That opens the sidebar where you can click on the people and be able to mute them from there and also pin them to the screen. And then I have a chat feature as well. So down at the bottom here, I can send a message to the group. What was the best book you read over the break? Not break. There we go. And so now that sends that message out for all of them to be able to see. And so then I can start to make my way around to ask them that question. And they have to unmute themselves. So I'm going to ask Jay first. What was the best book you read over spring break, Jay?
My favorite book was Scientific Progress Goes Blank. It's a Calvin and Hobbes book. And I like Calvin and Hobbes books because they're really funny and I like comedy.
All right. Thanks, Jay. And then I can mute him again. And then Maddie, what was your favorite book?
My favorite book was The Selection Book. And this is actually a series, and there are 5 books in the series. And my favorite one is the third one. So I read that one over spring break, and that's my favorite. So that was my favorite book that I read over spring break.
Okay, thanks, Maddie. So I can click on her microphone and mute her again. So now I'm seeing from one of my kiddos that he's down to 1% on his device. So that's good to know. I can choose to present. So let's say that they needed some assistance with something. I could just show my entire screen or just a window. So this will show what I have open. So right now I just have Chrome open, so I can share my Chrome screen instead of them just being able to see me. And then I would be able to put up there, okay, this is Discovery Education, and what I need for you guys to do is to go into your Discovery Tech book. And so I would be able to provide that instruction for them and show them exactly what is going on my screen. Maybe I want to give them some instruction as far as Clever is concerned. So I could open this and bring up my Clever account, and I'd be able to walk them through that, and they'll see exactly what's happening on my computer screen. Then I can click to stop sharing, and then we can come back to seeing all of us. Let's say that someone's not here and they need the meeting details. Down here in the lower left, I can click on meeting details and I can copy that information and be able to send that out to them through Google Classroom again, or maybe their student sent an email saying, how do we do this? I can copy and paste those details in there to be able to resend that information. Once I am finished with our chat, then I can click to leave the call, and that will end the call for everyone. So this is a great feature to be able to use with your students. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Dr. Garrity or myself, and we'll be happy to help you.